Hey, it's Ashley with Budgets Made Easy and the Money Mindset Podcast. Today is day 5 of the debt series, the final day. If you haven't listened or watched the previous episodes, go back a couple videos where we talk about getting started, figuring out where you're going, how you're going to get there, and making sure that your expectations are realistic. Don't set the bar too high for yourself. I feel so weird saying that because it's like everybody's like, aim high, set high goals, all this stuff. And I'm like, be realistic because you're going to be able to keep motivated and keep going when you're realistic, right? And if you hit a high goal, awesome. Like that's exciting, but don't set your expectations so high that you're constantly failing or feeling like you're failing. And so we talked about that in yesterday's episode. Today, I want to talk about consistency. Now, I've talked about habits before and routines on this podcast. And today, I want to talk about consistency because we think that consistency means getting it 100% right 100% of the time. And if we were just more consistent, we would reach these bigger goals. We'd be able to pay off debt. We'd be able to get up every day and work out and make the bed and do all the things. If we were just more consistent, our life would be easier, right? Like everything, life, money, kids, everything would be easier if we were 100% consistent 100% of the time, right? Now, consistency is important, but our definition of consistency needs to change. Okay. Just like yesterday with setting realistic expectations, we need to have realistic expectations of what consistency actually means. And what it really means is getting it mostly right most of the time. Keep in mind, remember, you're not a robot. You're not going to do something 100% the same way 100% of the time. Like, that's not realistic. It's not possible. You're a human. You're going to make mistakes. Things are going to come up. It's good to get it mostly right most of the time. And so, if you have a certain way that you want to do things, your habits and your routines, which is what consistency really is, you're going to get it right most of the time. You're going to do what you want to do most of the time. Now, you're probably not going to do it. There's going to be a few days. What if you're sick? What if you get distracted? What if your kid um, does something? What if, it's kind of like taking medication. You're supposed to take it every day, and you probably do take it almost every day, if not majority of the time, every single day. But there's still days that I forget to take my medicine because I got my routine got off in the morning. The kids distracted me, the dogs distracted me. I forgot to I got out of my routine. So I usually do like X, Y, and Z when I get up, and somehow I skipped X and Y and went straight to Z. Don't ask me why it happens. It just happens sometimes, right? But am I consistent in taking my medicine every morning? Yes. But there are still days that I somehow forget, even though I do the same thing almost every day, right? So that is what consistency is. It's getting it mostly right most of the time. You're not going to be able to do something 100% of the time forever. Like it's not realistic. And so when you have realistic expectations of your habits and your routines and consistency, you'll realize that you're doing okay. And that is a big part of sticking with the journey of paying off debt is when you realize that you can just make some shifts in your mindset and you'll be able to keep yourself going because that is the most important thing is if you don't give up. And so consistency and having a realistic expectation of yourself and what consistency actually looks like is the most important thing. Be clear about your definition and your expectations of what consistency actually looks like, and you will get to where you want to go. Hey, keep in mind that the Debt to Wealth Bundle is available until the 20th. We have resources in there, over 22 resources in there for you to help you manage your money, pay off debt, make more money, and build wealth, build a legacy that your children can be proud of. So if you are ready to get going, get a good reset before the fall. Yeah, I mean, it's like the New Year's already, the holidays, like I'm already stressing and thinking about all of the chaos of the fall, even though it's July and I'm trying to enjoy the summer. I know it's around the corner. Uh, the fall was just chaos in our house with sports and starting school and the holidays and sickness because my kids are always sick. But anyway, know that your consistency is getting it mostly right most of the time. And if you're ready to get a reset before the chaos of the fall and the rest of the year, check out the Debt to Wealth bundle at budgetsmadeeasy.com/debt to wealth bundle. And I will also put the link in the show notes below. All right, you guys have a great weekend. I've got some other fun stuff planned for you next week to celebrate the Debt to Wealth bundle. So keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're following me on Instagram so that you don't miss a thing. We've got some great conversations coming with our contributors who have paid off lots of debt as well. So if you want to hear their stories, make sure you're following along for those announcements. And I will talk to you next week.